Good afternoon and welcome to Chadron State College in the introduction of our 25th head football coach, Jay Long. You know, I brought a few notes up with me, but I really don't need to have them because I've known Jay for a long time. Actually, I recruited him out of Red Owl, South Dakota, where he played high school football at Sturgis High School. And we knew we had something special as a player and as a young man the minute I walked into the high school and talked to him. He came to Chadron State College, where he was a two-sport athlete, four-year letter winner in football and in wrestling, was a two-time all-conference RMAC offensive center, and made the All-American team his senior year. Probably the thing that impressed me most about Jay was his personality, his smile that never stopped, his love for Chadron State College, and most importantly, his intensity. He's one that we used to talk about turning the switch on and off. When you go up on the practice field, you turn the switch on, and you become a very intense football player who loves the sport. The minute you walk down off the field, you turn that switch off, and he becomes a gentleman and a type of person that everybody enjoys being around. Well, that's still the makeup of this young man. We had a very thorough search, and we are very fortunate to come up with Coach Jay Long. As I mentioned, he'll be our 25th head football coach and only the third one that's played for Chadron State College. So let's give Jay a big round of applause, and let's welcome him to Chadron State College. Also, thanks to all of you, volleyball, football, people in town, coaches, everyone for coming. Dr. Janie Park, thank you much for coming, and we'll get this rolling.
All right, well, first off, microphones make me nervous, so if I hum and ah, I'll blame it on the microphones here. But first thing I'd like to do is thank you for the opportunity to be the head coach here at Chadron State. I'd like to thank the hiring committee. I'd also like to thank my buddies I played with and alumni when I went to school here at Chadron. The notes and the emails and the Facebooks have all just been terrific, and it's really been exciting to talk to my buddies about this job. The next one, I'd like to just thank all the coaches that's ever coached me. One thing when you're a coach, you have a lot of background that you take from each coach that you've been under, and I'd just like to thank every coach that's ever coached me because they're a big part of the reason why I'm standing up here now. And then last, I'd like to thank my wife and kids. The next 3 months are going to be very interesting with me here and her back in Spearfish, and I'd just like to thank my wife for all the support and what she's about ready to go through here over the next 3 months. So those are the thank yous. I want to start off by saying that go Eagles, and I've been waiting to say this for a long time. And I left this campus in 2001, and basically got myself prepared to be able to stand up in front of this room. And along the way, I was asked as this process started. They go, Jay, why do you want to come look at Chadron State? And me and my wife, we kept discussing things and weighing our options and that. And one night I just woke up in the middle of the morning real early, and I remember my heart was beating real fast. And I was thinking about a story of when I came back as a recruit here. And I came in fall of 1995, spring of 1995. And I went on a visit, walked into Armstrong there. All the coaches were there. Hey, Jay, how you doing? Give me a handshakes. How's wrestling going? All that type of stuff, because it's wrestling season. And coaches go, hey, we got these guys we're going to go send you out with. And so they're good representatives of the team. And they hooked me up with Dan Machachok, Brett Ingall, and Alex Cleveland. And for those of you guys in this room that may not recognize or know much about them, they were all three 300-pounders, and I was wrestling 189 pounds at that time. And so they took me back to their house, and when I went back to their house, those guys were telling all their stories. I could see how everybody was hanging out together and how everybody was a great fit and how everybody got along and all those type of things. And this was the third visit that I'd been on, and everything was pretty much the same as the other two visits that I had been on. And after that, those guys got me up and say, we're going to go meet some more teammates. Let's go over to West Hills. And when we went over to West Hills, there was quite a few of the team there, and they one by one were coming over and just talking and telling me how good Chadron State was and all that type of stuff. And then it got later around at night, and all of a sudden a guy named Judd Hoos grabbed me, and for those of you guys who don't know Judd Hoos, Judd is still to this day, when I watch a fullback on film from high school, I compare him to Judd Hoos. He's one of the toughest guys I've ever seen, and I was only with him 2 years here at Chadron. But he grabbed me, and he goes, "Hey, so I heard you're a wrestler. You ranked #1 in the state, South Dakota. I was a state champion here in Nebraska," and that kind of got the conversation started off. And all of a sudden, he starts poking me in the chest. He goes, "You need to come to Chadron State." He goes, "This place is special. I came here for $200. I came here on a $200 scholarship, and this is the best decision I ever made." And then at that time is when I realized that this isn't like the other visits I was on, that the guys that come here are guys that bleed for this place. And when the end of the day, when it became time that I got a call that I could come up here for an interview, that was the first story that I thought of. And I'm very, very excited to come up here and be the head football coach at Chadron State College. The next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about a vision, our vision here. And when I met with the players in the next room over on the interview, there was a lot of questions that, our typical questions that get asked about recruiting and when we're recruiting kids, and they were easy questions. But one of the guys in the back, kind of a quiet guy, I don't even remember his name right now, but he stood up and he goes, "Hey, Coach, a lot of the things you're talking about right now are things that we already do." And I said, "Well, it's because I'm basically a branch off of the tree from the previous coaches." And he said, "Well, what's going to be the difference between you and the previous coaches?" And it was the hardest question out of the whole day. And Don Beebe grilled me with his 6 questions, and they were hard ones. But that one was the hardest one of the day. And I went back and I said, "Well, here we win, and we have 8 RMAC championships in 16 years. That's amazing. I've been at other places. That's something that very few colleges can say. And I can say we because I'm part of those 8. And I said that the things that the plans that have been placed here, they work. Now I'm not the previous coaches. I have my own twinkle and my own branch off that tree. But we're definitely going to continue to build off of what's the strong traditions that Chadron State have had. And the next part, of the vision is when I talked to him about the 4 things. The first one is we're going to graduate our players. The GPA on this team is amazing. I've been at 3 universities, and the GPA here is drastically higher than the previous 2 that I've been at. And that's a great attribute to the school, to the professors. I got my degree here, and I know how strong the professors are here, and the community and all that type of stuff. And our guys are going to get a degree, and that's very important. That's the #1 aspect that we're going to push in this program. The second part of our vision is that we're going to outwork our opponent. And when you look at it, Don Beebe, when during the interview, he said, "Jay, what's one word that's going to describe your team?" And without a beat, I said effort. And Don laughed and goes, "Really?" And I was talking to a speaker, and I was like, "Oh, man, I must have given him the wrong answer." But I went, "Don, I don't know if you know me or if you've ever met me, but I'm a 5'11", 3/4 center that was a 2-time all-conference center that weighed about 230 pounds. Everybody told me that I could not play center or I could not wrestle heavyweight at 225 pounds. And I know that the one way to do this is effort and outworking our opponent." And Don laughed, and he said, "I understand completely." That was the answer I was looking for. And when you look at it, I've been at different universities. I've had other coaches talk to me in regards to, "Hey, where did you play?" And I always say Chadron State. And they always say, that place has got that thing. And I kind of laugh, "Well, what's that?" He goes, "Well, it's just they've got it. That when you play them, you know what Chadron football is. They are tough. They outwork, they outhit, and they outplay their opponent. And that's what we'll continue to do." The next part is, that the third on the vision is we're going to win 8 RMAC championships. 8. when I talk to my friends, when my alumni, when my buddies call and they ask, about the job, that's the most awesome stat in regards to football is we win here. And we're going to continue that winning attitude. Along with that, we'll win the RMAC. And we win the RMAC, we'll be a top team in the country. And that's what our vision's going to be. And that's what we're going to push, and that's what the coach has been doing right now. And that's what we're going to push when I get back on campus, right when we talk to the team in that first meeting. Last thing here, I've talked probably plenty, but the last thing, I just got one more story, and it's just more of the story that it is the way I'm feeling right now. And with it, I was my first day up here at Chadron. I came in at fall camp. It's hot. It's about 101, 102 degrees. It was humid. And walk up the hill, and as we're walking up the hill to the practice field, it was kind of dusty, and I remember the dust. I was in the middle of the pack, and the dust was kind of going in my face and stuff, and I'm sweating and sticking to me. And I'm thinking, wow, this is college football. All right, we get up on the hill. It's the first day. We'd already went through our lead up and all that, and it was the first day of pads. And I always had a philosophy in myself that I was always going to be first in line, that no matter where I'm at, I'm going to be first so the coaches know I'm ready to play. And when I was there, I also was smart enough to know that I didn't understand the drill, so I got second line so that way I could watch the first person go. And the first one was called the board drill, and basically the board drill is just a mano-a-mano, a man versus man drill. And I was second, and the first person line was a guy named Kevin Homer, and I was a linebacker at that time. And Kevin Homer was on the linebacker side, and on the other side was a guy named Dan Machachok, both All-Americans, both guys that ended up in NFL camps. And here come the board drill, the first time I'd ever seen the board drill. And they get down in their stance, and Homer's in his linebacker stance. I'm watching, okay, I can do that. Homer and Magic's in his offensive line stance, about 2 inches off the ground, all 300 pounds of him. And the ball moved, and Magic got off the ball and hit Homer, and Homer hit him, and it was just a stalemate right in the middle of the board. Coach Boyle's going nuts because of Magic's steps and getting into him. Coach Hour's going nuts because Homer was Homer and did his thing and stuck him on the board. And it was going all crazy, and all of a sudden it got done, and there was a little tussle that broke out. And I remember thinking, wow, all right. And I look over and I see what Coach Smith's doing. Coach Smith's kind of shaking his head, blowing the whistle, saying, knock it off. And so next it's my turn to hop in line. And in my head I'm thinking, all right, this is college football. I got to beat the guy, then I got to fight him afterwards. And the ball snapped, and I was second line, so I was going against one of the top guys. And that guy picked me up and drove me back about 5 yards and stuck me right in the ground. And I remember getting up, and I remember thinking, oh boy, this is college football. Can I do this? Am I good enough to play here? Am I good enough to wear this jersey? Do I belong here? And as I stand up here in front of you today, though that's something that my gut is sitting here going, this is nervous. This is where I got my degree, and I want to not let down my buddies. And after that day when I got up, I went right back to work. And I know that hard work solves every problem. And the problems that are here, we're going to work through them, and we're going to move forward. And I can't wait to put on a Chadron State t-shirt and take this tie off and get ready to coach some football. So give me some questions. Easy as that. Ax?
What kind of a timetable do you have for filling out your staff?
In regards to staff, we're going to follow all the state policies in that. Chadron State's a great place, and the reason why it's a great place is the coaches and the university and the staff. And I want guys that understand Chadron State football, and that's what we'll look for. We'll open them up, and we'll get a top-notch staff in here.
Well, I'll ask a second.
All right, lead them up.
Do you think you have maybe kind of almost a secret weapon in preparing for this coming season? We have 7 road games, 4 of them over 600 miles each way. And you went through basically the same sort of season this past year up at Black Hill State.
Yeah, I've not had 5 home games in 4 years. One of the reasons why at the previous school I was at, we wanted to, to move to Division II was to get a more consistent schedule. So we'll be ready. We'll be road warriors. One thing that I played in the RMAC, wrestled and played football, and one of the things you just know is you just ride the bus, you travel, and you get used to it. It's part of a routine, and we'll get the guys in that routine, and we'll have them ready to play.
What are some areas you'd like to see improve on the team this upcoming season?
When we're going to come in, we're going to go to work. And when we go to work, we'll see what we have. And I know that the cupboard by any means is not bare. I looked at the schedule. I follow them each week, even when I was at different places. And the guys are excited for a head coach. And we are excited to move forward. And that's what we're going to do. And come Monday, I can't wait to be in the weight room and bang them out. I've been the strength coach and at the previous 2 institutions I've been at, and I can't wait to come in and just start throwing weights around. After we get done throwing weights around, then we're going to go out to spring ball and we're going to start hitting. Maybe we'll start off the board drill, but after that, we'll have summer, and then after summer, then we get ready for August, and we'll have a product on the field, and that product will be what Chadron State football is all about.
Jay, what's it mean to you to be just the 3rd former Eagle to become the head coach of this college?
Well, when Alex asked me that question, I said, well, what was the records? And he said, well, one of them was 1-1. I said, well, I can beat that guy. All right, so I think more than anything, the numbers and all that, I'm just proud as heck to stand up here after following the previous 2 coaches and what they've done here. I can't wait to I've said it 3 or 4 times, to get out there and just go to work and start coaching. But it means more than I can stand up here and tell you as a story to be able to be an Eagle again.
With signing day recently finished up and most of the recruiting done, how does that affect this transition?
It's awesome. When I look, very first thing when I looked at signing day was I figured that when I came down we'd be just recruiting. The coaching staff here, Coach Jerzel, Coach Stein, and the GAs did an outstanding job. They brought in 31 guys without a head coach. And that tells you what Chadron's about. The people want to be here. And that's outstanding by those guys. And I've been watching them on the internet, on film, and we recruited some of them up at Black Hills and lost them. And I'm really excited to get those guys up here also. One of the ones that are watching right now, I'll be contacting you this week also. So.
Are you looking forward to the October 13th meeting when Black Hills and a former associate of yours down here, John Reiners, comes down as their new head coach?
Actually, I just was at the RMAC meetings, and there was, out of the 10 football schools, 4 of them have Chadron State degrees. And that tells you how good this place is. And we were joking around that, hey, this is politics, we got 40% of the vote. We can run this thing a little bit. And but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them circled on our schedule. So yeah, it's going to be hard to play them. I mean, I got asked that by the kids in there, and I told my own players at Black Hills, I said, I expect you to play like you've been coached, and they will, and so will we. Yeah.
I understand if this is an issue that you don't want to address at this time, but since there's possibility on the horizon of Chadron being selected by the NCAA, have you given any thought to what kind of impact that might have on the next season and your ability to coach your team?
I will. Right today, it's about moving forward, and my goals are to coach the football team, and that's how I'll handle that if those things come. Alex, any Twitter questions over there?
I don't see it.
Yeah. All right.
I think you're ready to roll.
All right. Well, thank you, and look forward to getting this thing going. So, thanks.